Hello everybody, welcome back to another edition of the EcoStruxure Machine Expert HVAC. I'm your host, Leandro Mada, and in this video what we're going to see are the basic arithmetics that we have in the software. So let's go to the application or to the presentation. So basically, once we open our application and we go to the programming, we should be able to find on the library tree the operators and blocks that in the previous version, before the version 1.5, we have a specific window for this, but now we have it already on the library tree. So if we go to arithmetics, we should be able to see the simplest one, for example, the add, the division, multiplication as a structure, and you also have some trigonometrics over there, but let's focus in these four. So any of these ones you can drag and drop it into your code and easily make the equation that you want. So the easiest, at least for me, is in the structured text. Okay, so you can easily see the equation, but you can also use that on the FBD language or the ladder. So this is the graphical representation. So as soon as you drag and drop it, you can see that there is no instance over here in the block. So just drag and drop and use them in your logic. You also have the possibility to have enable input and output, that you can see here, enable input and output, and if you don't have it, then you just right click and enable it. Something important here and is crucial is that you use the same data type. Okay, so the data type that you define here in the inputs will be the same, okay, for the output. So if this one, okay, doesn't match this, then there is nothing that you have over there. I believe this one is going to be the priority, but you should have all of them as the same data type. So if you use real, use real in the other side, and if you have int, use an int. If you don't have it equal the data type, then the best will be to use the converters. Now, if you use the structured text, please check over here that I'm using the same syntax as always, the assignation, the semicolon at the end, okay, and then the operand over here. This is going to be add, subtraction, or multiplication, division. And here you can see that I'm making a complete equation, okay, and it can be easily read, okay, and I could easily type over there to get a result rather than using this on the ladder or FBD. So if you're using a calculation equation, probably the best will be to use a structured text as a function and then using it on a block if it's going to be much easier for you. So here is what I mentioned about the having the same data type. So in this particular case on a structured text, I have the result. It's going to be real because you can see it's real, the variable. So this variable over here and this one must be real. In this particular case, this one is int, so I'm using a converter to real to have real values, and then I can put all this together. Now here I have an FBD, I have a constant value added to the real variable. As you can see here, I have a 5.0, and I'm using the dot because it's a real variable. But here in a int variable, I'm not using the dot because it's not a real value. So using dot 2.0 is useless. Now here you can see that I get the value int, and here is a real. So as I'm going to use real, as I'm going to use and add here, all data types must be the same, and that's why here I'm using a converter to get a real value. Okay, so I was trying to make something here, okay, here, okay, so I have done this. So easily you can drag and drop the blocks, okay, oh, this one no, multiplication, you can add it over here and then put it together, which is simple. Okay, I just create this part. For the conversion, you can operate as a block conversion and then just drag and drop the one you need. and then in order to select all, Shift, make the selection and delete in this particular case. So what I have done here is similar to the example that I showed you before. The only difference is that I have this multiplication over here, so we can have an additional variable to execute the calculation when we want. So if we download this, so if we download this, we should be able to see that I have our variable here, 44.3, okay, 10.4, and here if I enable this, I get 0 because it multiplied by 0. But as soon as I put this number in 1, 2, 3, it makes the calculation, and as soon as I delete this part and I put 6, 5, doesn't do anything, 42 doesn't do anything until I make the calculation. Okay, so something similar can be done using a structured text. So in order to execute this part, you probably need to use if this one is true, then create this equation. Okay, simple as that. So this part is check, this one is check, add division by 0 and simulate behavior. So I get this behavior, okay, only because I'm using this syntax, kind of syntax. Otherwise, if you just put it directly, you just get a fault that I'm going to show you. So so if we go to a structured text, here you can see the results. Let me just double check something, because I believe I'm using them 2 times. Okay, good. Okay, so you can see not a number, 0 divided by 0, nothing. As soon as I put this number 10, you can see this infinite. Now it's different the behavior when I have something like this. So imagine I have, let's see, R bar, okay, R bar 04 equal to R bar 01 divided by R bar 02. Yeah, I know I should drag and drop it, but yeah. So let's download this and see the behavior. Infinite, not a number. Okay, so this works fine on real numbers. Now if you use the integers, I believe I have a few integers over here, I bar 2, 3, and 4, I bar 3, I bar 1. Just want to show you the behavior that I'm getting. So I'm going to download this part. Okay, and you get a fault. Okay, so, and as you can see here, it's not running. So it's important to pay attention in your code. Okay, let me just, here, for example, initial value 12. It's important in your code to verify when you're going to make a division by 0. Otherwise, you just go to stop and you don't know why, and you are going to blame the programmer or something else. Okay, so it's important to know that. Okay, and if I divide by 0 here, fault again. So it's important to pay attention to this. Okay, as you saw the real, when I use the real, you just get this, okay? Doesn't go to stop, maybe because I didn't test it on the controller, but I can test it later. I'm sure that probably we get something. Let's see. I can test it right now, actually. Let's see what we get. Let's go simulation, online, stop communication, TCP. I got the feeling that. Do what you say, 1, 2, activate. Okay, connected, and then I can download this to the target. Let's see, what do we have? Okay, so you get this part, then infinite undefined divided by 0, not a number, which is fine. Okay, this system I'm connected with the real controller, it's not simulation. And now let's see the behavior when we divide it by 0. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, if see, because I don't want to, just in case. Then if, so I can execute this just one time. If the PLC restarts, it's going to be executed just one time, but that's it. 1 divided by 3. So it's going to be 100 divided by 10. I'm going to put the initial value. So I'm going to connect with the real controller, download this part, and see the behavior that we have. So this is what I meant before I having the if. Okay, as you can see, there is no operation until I execute this. So if I execute this, false, okay, and let's then and true, and it doesn't do anything, which is good. Okay, just doesn't go there. Just bear with me a second. Now I want to test this part. Okay, so if I execute this just one time, it's the other way around. Divided by 10. Otherwise, it's going to be, yeah, there we go. So if I divide this by 0, okay, as you can see, there is no result I want. Okay, so as you can see, there is no, which is good. The PLC doesn't go to stop so far. Let's see. Zero by 0, 0. Okay, the PLC doesn't go to stop, which is good. So the simulation is the one that causes the problem. So anyway, I never tested that way because I always make sure that when I have a division, I execute this and doesn't go to stop. So it's kind of good, but I recommend you to check the code and be sure, because if by any chance you have the value 0 on the dividendo, it will give you other values that you don't know, or it's gonna be what's going on. Okay, it's not what I want, so make sure of that. Okay, so I believe this is it. Yes, so we have seen in this video the basic operation, add, subtract, multiplication, and division. They are simple. It would depend on how difficult is the equation you want to do. So yeah, that's it. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I see you on the next one.